All right, hello everyone. Happy Friday to you. Today's assignment is to complete the Napoleon Hero or Villain DBQ prep. The name of the document is Napoleon T-Chart. All right, so here's what we are looking at. If you look at your interactive notebook, which you guys should have completely done now, and you should also be using to fill in your study guide, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, if you look at slide 13, we actually have taken this information and we put it on a Google Doc because I realize working off of this is a little hard. It's hard to see. It's pretty small, but it's essentially the same thing. We are looking at whether or not Napoleon would be considered a hero or whether or not he would be considered a villain. Okay, instead of completing this, you are going to be completing this. All right, so this T-chart, you are being asked to use at least one piece of evidence from each of the following. Right, so you have to open up some of these from earlier in the week. The first one is the DBQ Napoleon Bonaparte background essay. If you click on this link, it will take you to that essay, but it will not be the one that you highlighted. Right, so if you want to go back and look at the one that you have already done work on, right, go into Google Classroom, go to your classwork, right, and then okay, for your AMI snow day assignment, okay, whatever you turned in there should be your DBQ Napoleon Bonaparte essay that you have already highlighted in green and red. Right, so you need to take at least one piece of evidence from that document, okay, and dump it into one of these boxes, right, okay, evidence that he was a hero and evidence also that he was a bad guy, a villain. Right, now, just to be clear, I saw some folks do this, so I thought I would mention it. If you go to the background essay, right, there were a couple people who, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, just in looking at it, right, people who highlighted statements like this, right, history debates whether he was a brilliant leader or Corsica's greatest gangster, right, this statement doesn't actually say anything, it's not evidence at all whether or not he was a hero or a villain. This is just saying that history debates whether he was, right, maybe a great leader or whether he was a villain, right. Additionally, right, if it says others consider him a tyrant and a precursor of what was to come for Europe, right, that sounds very villainous, right, like that would make him kind of a bad guy. But, okay, make sure that you understand what that means because in your T-chart, so let's say that you decided to use that right here, you are now being asked to explain how this supports the idea of him being a villain, right? So what does it mean? Well, that means that you would have to know a little bit about, okay, what the word precursor means, okay, understanding what a tyrant is, and understanding what comes into Europe after him, right, that maybe he was a tyrant and kind of a precursor, right, this almost prediction of what was to come for Europe, which they're hinting at is other bad guys, right? So you really, when you use, okay, any of these quotes, you need to make sure that you really understand them. Facts are what we are looking for here. We are not looking for information, right, about like, you know, sometimes he is personified as a villain with good publicity or a real life magnificent nobody, right? Like that is not super helpful information. That's just the author telling you, again, people think good things and bad things about the guy. All right, so just be careful about which quotes you pick and make sure that you can indeed actually explain how it supports the idea of him either being a villain or a hero. It will not be enough to just copy and paste quotes in. All right, so you'll need to use at least one piece of evidence from that essay. You'll need to use at least one piece of evidence from this document D viewpoint. This you were asked to read yesterday, and some of you didn't get to it, and I get that. But, okay, go ahead and look at this one as well. Okay, there's two different viewpoints on Napoleon again, so that should be really helpful. Okay, take some fact, some information, some evidence, okay, put it into the T-chart on whether he was a hero or a villain, right? And then after each of these, okay, that you add in, make sure you add the name of the source, right? So you could be really helpful to yourself, right, and actually like copy and paste the MLA citation right there, or you could just go ahead and name it like document D, and that's fine. All right, you also have documents E and documents F, right? So document E was the document with the political cartoons that you examined yesterday. Again, if you want to actually look at the one that you did, click on yesterday's assignment. If you really don't care and you just need to look at the cartoon again, right, you can click on the one I've linked. Same thing with document F, okay, with the paintings. Right, when you do the cartoons and the paintings, so you have to do at least one piece of evidence from the cartoons, one piece of evidence from the paintings, right? Make sure that you explain how the political cartoon or the painting portrays him as either a hero or a villain, and then explain how it supports him being a hero, right? Talk about the use of color or the use of exaggeration or the use of words or whatever it may be. All right, so really make sure that you explain it, because as your reader is reading your writing, they're not going to be looking at, okay, the political cartoon. So instead you're going to have to describe how the political cartoon shows him or how the painting shows him. All right, again, after each of these, please put in the name of your source. All right, so today, a lot of the stuff that you are doing today, you've already done a lot of this work in Google Classroom this week. All you need to do is go look at it and plug it in here. All right, so for each one, you can cut, copy, and paste quotes, but then you have to make sure you explain, okay, how it supports them being a hero or a villain. When you're finished, we will turn this in, and then next time I see you in class, we will actually be writing the essay. All right, so this piece of paper, this document will be vital for you doing well in class. In fact, in class should be a breeze if you do this well. All right, if you have questions or if there's any confusion, let me know. And otherwise, have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you.